What's going on, Chiefs Kingdom? Welcome to the Chiefs Report by Chat Sports. I'm Jace Andrews, and we have breaking news today as Travis Kelce was injured in practice as he hyperextended his knee, and his availability against the Lions in the coming days is now questionable. Ian Rappaport tweeted out this, saying, Coach Andy Reid told reporters that star tight end Travis Kelce hyperextended his knee at practice today, and his status is uncertain for Thursday night. Now, this is exactly why you subscribe to the Chiefs Report. We have breaking news whenever it happens right away. Make sure you subscribe. You get up-to-date news, rumors, videos every single day, everything you want for the Chiefs right here on the Chiefs Report. So make sure you're subscribed. Press that little red button. All right, let's get into it. The first thing I'm going to say, this would be a major blow to the Kansas City offense if Kelce were not able to play on Thursday night against the Lions, as he has been a huge contributor to this Chiefs team for many, many years, and especially last year, he was one of the top wide receivers. You just look at those stats, that's not easily replaceable. On top of which, he's a guy who has been a captain for this team. That would be a major, major blow to the offense, and with this, it's really hard because you got to think, okay, without Kelce, you got to go into the tight ends. Who is left? But before we dive into who's going to replace Kelce, I want you to show some love for Travis in the comments. I want you to type 87, get in the comments, type 87, show some love for our star tight end, as it's, maybe he could play Thursday, but at the same time, you need to show all the love you can to hopefully get him better at least as soon as possible. If that's not this week, then so be it, but get in the comments and type 87. All right, I mentioned the tight end depth chart. Let's dive right into it. So obviously, Kelce right there at the tight end one, and then Noah Gray and Blake Bell. Now, they do have two practice squad tight ends in Garrett Prince, who they just signed a couple days ago, and Matt Bushman. But looking at the depth chart, is Noah Gray now the first string? Well, that would have to be the thought because he's the guy who was the second string. He's the guy who's been on this team now for 3 years. And I think the Chiefs coaching staff, they have confidence in him. The tight end coach, Tom Melvin, said this about him earlier this year, said, he's done a great job because we move him around to all different positions we have. As far as the formations are concerned, he's able to handle all of those. So they have confidence in Tom Melvin. He looked, I'm not going to say amazing in his career, but he overall has been sufficeable as a tight end two behind Travis Kelce, and they like what he brings to the table. He's able to come in and be, I'm not going to say Kelce, no one's going to be Kelce, but he's going to be serve a sufficeable role in the tight end position. But the thing that I want to focus on as well, Kelce's also the best wide receiver on this team. And so therefore, who's going to pick up the slack on that end? Because the backup tight end, Noah Gray, can suffice in blocking and being able to kind of play the tight end role. But receiving, that's going to be a little tougher for him to fill. And so who's going to pick up the slack? Well, here's the top 3 receivers on this squad. Kadarius Toney, Marquez Valdes-Scantling, and Sky Moore. Those numbers are all pretty good, but again, without Kelce's numbers, they're not amazing. So the work is going to fall to these 3. These are the guys that you're going to look to and say, all right, guys, we don't have our best receiver. You are now the guys who are going to come in here and going to be responsible for picking up the workload. So I'm going to ask you this question because I'm asking myself this. Who steps up? Who out of these 3 do you think is going to step up and be able to carry the load, be able to get those yards, be able to be Patrick Mahomes' favorite target? Because that is Travis Kelce. Well, now that's one of these 2. Well, his 3s, rather. So type KT if you think it's Kadarius Toney. I want you to type NVS for Marquez Valdes-Scantling and type SM for Sky Moore if you think it's him. Get in the comments, type one of those. To me, I think it's Sky Moore. I think he is the guy to watch overall. I think he has wide receiver 1 potential. Overall, I think last year was a really good kind of first season. I'm looking for a breakout year now. I'm looking for him to dive straight in, especially with Travis Kelce being out. It's his time. Let him go. Let him kind of take the reins and be that wide receiver 3, because last year he was kind of there. He was a guy that it was leaned on, but there was other guys that were the first option. Well, now I think it's a toss-up between Kadarius Toney, Marquez Valdes-Scantling, and Sky Moore. I'm picking Sky. I think he's got what it takes. Let him free. Now with Kelce out, let him go. All right, let's switch here for a little bit as we go to Chris Jones. Now, this was reported that Jones and the Chiefs are reportedly $9 million off in contract negotiations. $9 million. That's not chump change, not even for Chris Jones at this point. No progress has been made at all in the past couple days. And at this point, it's Tuesday. There is, I would think, zero chance in my head that Chris Jones plays on Thursday, unless he just decides to end his holdout and come play, which I don't think will happen. Now, if we look at the highest paid interior defensive lineman, again, I've said this multiple times, Aaron Donald and Quillen Williams, I think Jones fits right in the middle of there. He fits right in the middle at about probably, I want to say $27 million per year. Well, that's not what he wants. You see right there, he's number 9 at $20 million. He wants to be $30+ million. And in fact, he wants to be higher paid than Aaron Donald. He wants 2 years at $64 million. Quick math, $32 million a year. Well, the Chiefs have offered him 2 years at $54.5 million, which is in the exact range that I think he's worth. Well, that's not exactly what Jones wants, and he's staying put. He's saying, this is what I want, this is how I'm going to get it, and you're going to give it to me until I play, until, like we've said, possibly week 8. And at this point, Jones is in way too deep. Way too deep. Now that this report has come out, now that it's obvious that he is asking for the highest paid interior defensive lineman contract per year, he's gone. He's way in too deep. There's no way he's going to back up from there. I mean, I'm not going to say he doesn't deserve a top interior defensive lineman number in terms of contracts, but this was last year. It was better than Aaron Donald. But you got to do that again and again and again. And if you want 2 years, I think 2 years for what the Chiefs are offering is very reasonable. Very reasonable. You're at the second position in terms of interior defensive lineman. At this point, it's really tough for me to see what Jones' end goal is. And now, you got to think, well, Jones isn't going to be there. And now there's a chance that Travis Kelce wasn't going to be there. So let's just say, I'm going to say that's 2 of the top 3 players on the Chiefs roster. Because Patrick Mahomes is obviously number 1. And then 2 is a toss-up between those 2, between Kelce or between Jones. So if Jones doesn't play, if Kelce also doesn't play, what's your score prediction for Thursday night against the Lions? Because I still think the Chiefs are going to win. That Lions defense is not good, just to say the least. I think that this Chiefs offense, Patrick Mahomes, I mean, he can win with freaking a bunch. He could win with a team full of Deuce Vaughns. I don't really care. He could play with anybody, and he would win. So I want you to get in the comments and predict the score without Jones or Kelce coming up here on Thursday night. All right, so let's take a look at that Week 1 matchup. As I mentioned, you have the Chiefs and the Lions here, and, well, I think that's what we're going to go with here. So, again, get in the comments, predict the score as the Chiefs take it on the Lions here in a couple days, and we'll have more content tomorrow or with the preview of this game as well. See you tomorrow.